Well, hello there, Chick Chat. We are
Hi.
back with Gypsy episode 6, season 2. Of course, we are going to start it off with a trip with Ken. He's trying to prove himself to Rod here on this boating trip.
Well, a trip that wasn't a trip because it does end up thunderstorming. Also, when it thunderstorms, maybe I was just don't have a lot of faith in Ken, but did Rod have to explain to Ken why it was a bad idea to take a boat out in a thunderstorm?
Ken was wanting to do it still.
That's what I was confused. He's like, so were we just waiting? And he
Mhm.
says, well, you don't want to go out in the lightning because you don't want to get struck.
It's like he was
There's a
taking
metal container in the water, sir.
It's like he was taking Forrest Gump with him.
It was wild. And then Rod asked him if he's ever been struck by lightning, and he says not yet, as if it's some type of common life experience.
For some.
Maybe he thought that too was part of the Bayou culture. Maybe it is. I'm not part of the Bayou culture, but I don't think so.
Possible.
Possible. Rod called Ken an idiot because he left his wallet at the store right beforehand. And we found out that Ken has some making up to do in Rod's eyes. From the beginning, I guess Gypsy got in trouble in prison for kissing Ken. According to Rod, he's always been a bad guy. And then he broke her heart, and then he broke her marriage, and all these things. So I think he has some making up to do in Rod's eyes. Not that Rod is the perfect model of fatherly behavior, but
I know at some point later they just make it seem like Rod is this great dad, which I think he might be now.
yes.
But they talk about even with Mia, he wasn't really there. He'd be gone on the boat all the time, which is why Kristy is this she man can do anything woman.
I think that's what Rod needs. He needs a very independent woman for sure. It doesn't sound like he was even there for Mia's birth. So he had some learning and growing to do.
Yeah, no way.
No way. Ain't no way.
No way.
We pop over to Ken's house. Anne and I were talking before we started recording, and it seemed to us like this whole episode was some spliced up bunch of scenes rather than following a general storyline. I mean,
yeah, kind of like when you walk into someone's room and back in the day, and they'd have the pictures on the string.
Yes.
The night out.
Yes, and then you randomly zoom into random ones, right? You don't even go this way.
Yeah, not even in order.
And what made it even stranger about not even in order is that throughout this scene specifically, Gypsy's hair completely changes. Mm-hmm. My suspicion, and we'll come back to this later, is that this part of the scene happened after her baby shower, just because that's how her hair looked in her baby shower in this little flippy brown stuff. And the rest of this whole episode, she has this hair up until the baby shower, which is at the end. And obviously they refilmed all of this. That is apparent. But I'm just trying to figure out why. And I think it only adds to the disingenuous and not authentic, but it also feels real chopped up. Like you're just sort of zooming into storylines.
That's how reality TV has always worked. We're just more brighter too. Back in the Teen Mom days, they would wear wigs that were now obvious when I watched the scenes back. I'm like, oh my gosh, how didn't I was so invested in the story, I guess, that I just overlooked these horrible $10 wigs.
Yeah.
But the same thought was going on here at first. I'm like, oh, she's wearing a wig or something? Why is her hair from blonde to brown?
Right.
And then I do think that scene probably got filmed either before the baby shower or right after, because that is the same hairstyle. So I do believe that. But they do that just for storyline cohesive sake. They might have got the whole scene done, but maybe when they went back to editing, the sound quality was bad for half of it, and they're like, "Oh, you got to redo that." I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like it's sloppy, but and so is a $10 wig too. Yeah, I get it. It's reality. It's not actual reality. It's a show, and they do have a storyline to give us, but they're not giving us a storyline, so it just feels sloppy. What was the purpose of trying to string together this conversation where it seems that Ken and Gypsy are talking about how they want to parent, and then this conversation about having family time, which it would make sense that after the shower, Gypsy would be talking about wanting Aurora to have family time. But why do these two things need to be spliced together? I hate it. It feels like trickery to me. It's obviously trickery. It's obviously a reality show, but I can't even focus on what the heck they're talking about in this scene because the flip-flop is the hair. This seems to be an overarching theme of like we're preparing for the baby and thinking about parenting and what we want for our child. That's probably why these two things are spliced together. And yes, they're trying to create a narrative, but you're right. There's not really a lot going on here.
It's weird how it seems like they spent all that time in October and they're about to jump into the baby being born in the next episode or two here.
Right.
So I think they only have 10 episodes, and we're on episode, 6 right now? So I think it's going to be coming up in the next 2 to 3 episodes.
Yeah, they gave us a still to come at the end of this episode. So usually that means we're a little more than halfway done. And I mean, 6 out of 10 would be a little more than halfway done. I think that checks out.
Oh, there's still to come.
Oh, there's still some to come.
We don't know what order it's in.
The timeline is strange. Gypsy's whole concern here was to make sure to get on camera who was doing this, to give them their publicity, and then to warn them once they got their publicity to be ready for the backlash that comes with dealing with Gypsy. So that was her purpose. I mean, I guess they planned the menu and all of that too, but it seemed like that was really the purpose.
It truly was her purpose, because when she went to get those damn cupcakes later on, her true intention was to talk about who that lady was.
Once they say that they're okay with everything and they're prepared and ready for the backlash and their team Gyp, she has a big old smile on her face and she's ready to move forward. So this is now planned and we will see how it goes later on.
Yeah, I don't know where did they say this was happening at? It's not cut off.
I think people or children with disabilities at that whole location.
Is that when they, got all that money from their baby registry? That baby registry and got all that stuff and gift cards and stuff?
Didn't she take that down?
Who's to know?
She did put up a public baby registry. That is true. And within days, somebody purchased everything on there in the name of Dee Dee.
Was it the same person?
I would imagine it was the same. You think a whole bunch of random people did put in the same name?
Angry rich person.
Some angry troll.
Nothing is more angry than a rich person with too much money.
Swear. Mm-hmm. So true.
Well, and time. Time and money. Angry.
Time itself is angry?
Anger. Just pure anger. That's why they try to keep us all busy. Busy.
Anyways. Speaking of busy, this man's busy. Ken, he's busy. He's got his mom flying in. He's got his brother flying in. He's got 2 other family friends who I don't know nothing about flying in. They all talk about preparing for Gypsy to meet Ken's mom for the first time in several years. They've met before, but it's been a long time. And then also none of Gypsy's family has met Ken's mom either. So
I died when Ken's mom was like, my first time meeting Gypsy in the free world.
In the free world.
It's like, oh gosh. You ain't just meeting Gypsy, you're meeting Gypsy Anderson.
Gypsy Anderson.
This is a different Gypsy.
It's a whole different Gyp. Yeah. Wow. I guess more and more now that I talk about it, they're definitely trying to set up this whole theme of baby preparation, right? It's a baby shower episode. So Gypsy's talking about how she's such an excited mom. I just had a theory pop into my brain. You know how everybody had all these theories about how Gypsy and Ken broke up before or during or at or after the baby shower, somewhere around that day or something?
Oh, it's heavily included in this episode, yeah.
Yes, the rumor is. And I was kind of confused by that because they gave us this whole song and dance of our excited parents and going on ultrasounds and all of this. But I wonder if that's why this is such a spliced up episode, because maybe they were really going through a lot of problems and whatever they were filming before that was not great. And so they put in all the positive things that they could find that were random, like putting together these items in the room and going fishing and whatever.
Possible, because I think this is around the time people were talking about the Ken and Grinder stuff. So
I think so.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, I think that this was right around all that time. And I was trying to figure out, later on, the brother talks about how Ken seems stressed and all this stuff, and his family seems like they're hopeful, but they don't seem super excited. So I wonder if that's part of why this episode is so particularly spliced up. Maybe there really was some problems going on there that they're not going to want to show us, obviously. So we go to the cookie lady. This is Sugar Mama Cookies.
We get a little fan promo.
Yes. Gypsy loves to show us her fans in this season. And show off.
These are the real fans, and the people online, she don't even know what's going on.
Yes, she's never met, even though she's met.
Because whenever she's out and about, this is what's going on.
Yeah. And I'm sure that that's the case. A lot of celebrities will say that too. I know, like, the Kardashians are pretty hated online, but they generally talk about how they experience a lot of love and support when they're out. But we've also seen on their show that people do yell things to them. I'm sure people yell things to Gypsy too. But anyways, Gypsy loves to hype up all of her supporters. I think this lady is well-meaning and sweet, and she's obviously been through a hard time in her life. She says some things about Gypsy being an inspiration, and I'm just not even going to touch that. So she makes some cookies.
Not with a cookie box. She did donate the cookies, so it's easy
I
to
didn't know that.
I think she said she donated those cookies.
I would assume so, probably to get her name out and all that.
Yeah, because Gypsy was an inspiration, but because of Schmishmuse and yada yada. I was kind of confused on what she meant by that.
I could see the endurance part. There are obviously parts that are not inspirational, that are not aspirational. And I know that Gypsy at least has said on the show that those things are not aspirational, and she's aware of that, and she shouldn't be famous for what she's done. But I can see people who've been through similar things probably being inspired by the fact that she just has endured all of this.
It's funny. Just looking at these people who are like Gypsy's little fan club promoters that come out of nowhere.
Does this woman live with anybody, in particular a man? Because the amount of, she's got just lots of items.
Well,
it's clean. I'm not trying to be mean to this lady, but there's just so much color going on.
Definitely feel like though that lady was a plant of some sort.
Possible, yeah.
It's just funny. They're acting like these people who give the free cookies and they're taking all these hits are like little soldiers. I wonder if this lady listened to Eminem Toy Soldier on the way. Like she's one of Gypsy's little soldiers. Like, it's fine, I'll take the hits. It's fine.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Maybe. I think more so the people who are helping to host her baby shower are ready to take the hits. They probably listen to Toy Soldier. I think this woman, if her story is real, which I don't have a reason to question her, she seems like a wonderfully nice lady, but I think she really does relate to Gypsy somehow. And I think she's also getting some publicity, good or bad.
That's nice. It's like the random advertisement throughout the series here with the random fan call out, shout out. It's kind of like cameo, but it's so randomly placed in these episodes as well. I'm like, what is going on here? Is it Christmas? Like,
I mean, Gypsy does have to grow her support network, and I guess these are the people that are supporting her. That girl on TikTok that became her and Kristy's friend, now these businesses so that they can advertise. When Gypsy leaves there, she talks about how experiences like that are why she has done this show. And I know you and I have questioned quite a bit as to what is the purpose of going through all of this really for her. And so this is what she is telling us, that when she's told she's an inspiration, she feels good about that. Good for Gyp Gyp.
Not what they all say. Two things famous people say is like, when I get told that I've helped somebody, then that keeps me going, or I've just been sharing my story for so long I wouldn't know any different. And I mean, yeah,
that's what the girls on Teen Mom say at this point, because they really probably can't remember any different. I don't remember much before I was 16.
But you do. Like, you could just shut your door and go about your day without these people filming it.
Definitely. You know? I think that that's definitely possible. I think from this lady's perspective, that's where some of the inspiration comes in, though, and that she is publicly open about her experiences, even though they were also not ending in a good outcome. I think that's part of their relatability to her, is that she is public about this and she hasn't hidden herself.
That lady offed her mom too.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's why I was saying I don't think that she's advocating for the outcomes, but I think that the endurance, the publicity, I'm not in her brain, but I'm just saying I think the lady herself said that she was an inspiration. I feel like it's an illegal word to say about Gypsy.
I'm just wondering where Gypsy, other than doing like interviews about her own book and her own story, has been an advocate.
You're gonna have to ask Gypsy that. I don't know, girl.
Okay. Just curious. As usual, Gypsy is grappling with fame, and Kristy is, what is she doing? I don't know.
They're getting ready for the baby shower. And one of the aunties was asking Kristy, how do you tie a bow? And Kristy said, all I know is you wrap it and twist it, and wrap it and twist it, wrap it and twist it. So that's what they're doing, wrapping and twisting.
I wouldn't take a bow advice from a lady who can't run a comb through her yanks ever.
She didn't really sound like she knew exactly what she was talking about, but tell me why they gave us this strange scene in the middle of the preparations of this family just scurrying around outside looking for some kind of hide and key. What was the purpose of this?
Filler.
Filler. Exactly.
They usually zoom in on hands.
Why on earth are you putting on national television where your hide key is outside of your home? We're dating like the most hated woman ever. Anyways, I would not have discussed this breakfast before the shower, except for the fact that this poor man had to endure eating a croissant that he immediately spit back out. And the horror on his face. This breakfast must not have been good. Ken was doling out people's breakfast. He was like, scrambled eggs with bacon, scrambled eggs with sausage. Everybody's like, we ordered different kind of eggs.
Do you think he has a problem with people and food? Like, maybe he's got like ordering food by proxy. Like he has to.
Possible.
You know? Why is he doing this? Like, look what he's doing.
He's harming the people that love him. And you know what? I took another picture because this guy didn't eat either.
His mom didn't even grab a plate.
She knows better. She's known that man her whole life.
She probably started saying some stuff about all kinds of medications she's on, so she can't eat. And at this point, he's just like, no.
Yeah, whatever. And so his younger stepbrother ate probably 2 meals because he's a growing boy. And
I think he's got like, I'll feed you myself by proxy. Like, I know what's best.
That's like, isn't that like a kink when people feed people?
If you go to Ken and Gypsy's house for dinner, you know that Ken's going to be picking what you eat.
He is.
You're having this and you're having that.
Torturous.
It's like Saw. But with food.
Yeah, this is the face of trauma.
Ken's just like, do you want to play a game? A dinner game?
A food game.
Mm-hmm.
So Ken's mom gives her whole spiel about how she also did not want for this baby to happen. At least not so quickly, maybe not at all. I don't know. But everybody always comes to the conclusion that a baby is a blessing and everybody's excited. So
Kendra wanted it to be known that it wasn't just Rod.
So she too has a brain.
Kendra as well has a brain.
Yes. So from breakfast to lunch, it still seems like they're trying to tell us that this is the day before the shower, but impossible to me. I don't know. This is a lot of spliced up narratives here, memories, pictures going on. So pretty much what happens at this lunch is Ken shares with his brother basically the limitations of Gypsy's parole, how it's going to cause them to co-parent instead of actually parent because they can't live together. And the only thing that could change that would be going to get married. And they do not want to go get married for a plethora of reasons, which is probably the smartest thing that these two humans have ever decided for themselves. So
because they legally can't right now as well.
Well, true. But at the beginning of this scene, they're talking about after December, because December is when she's anticipating being divorced.
300 days.
I don't think it's that long for them yet. 300 days after December is the
baby's
period
an Anderson.
That the baby's an Anderson.
The baby's an Anderson.
They're not going to get married, but he does plan to move in with her 100%. And I don't know. I just think that that's good for us to all keep in mind for the future.
Isn't her parole only 4 more months from now or something?
No, the baby was coming in 4 months and the parole was ending in 6 months. There's going to be like a 2 to 4 month period or something that the baby is there and Gypsy's still on parole. Don't quote us on the exact timelines, Chick Chat. We're not investigative reporters, but there will be a time where Gypsy's on parole.
Well, honestly, even Gypsy's timelines don't make sense. Didn't she? Said she got pregnant on May 4th, and if you got pregnant like in the beginnings of May, she should have gave birth the ends of January. I mean,
possible.
I don't know what's going on with her timelines. And she threw in all those extra dates to throw us off.
She threw in all those extra dates to piss off Ryan. Okay.
She did. Every day.
Every day. So Mia is on her way to, I think this is the day of the baby shower, and they're setting up a couple hours beforehand. But Mia is coming in hot and heavy. She's angry.
She's trying to save what she can.
She's trying to do whatever she can. She says Gypsy hasn't helped. Nobody has helped. And yet when she's stomping around this whole place, she's also mad at herself because she delegated too many things. So I don't know how both of those things are true, but Mia is mad. She is all of us. I feel like, at least me, I can really relate to her when you open up a 5x7 for the first time that you order a 5x7 and you don't measure it. And you're like, why did I think that that was bigger than that? And it's always such a disappointing size. Never get the 5x7, always get the 8x10. Almost of anything. Public service announcement. She's also angry about these damn bows and these damn cookies. And it makes me feel bad for this woman because I thought that that woman was sweet who made the cookies and all of that. But Mia's just over here stomping around because there's not enough bows and too many flowers. People don't have common sense. She's just mad.
I mean, if the cookies are free, then it's a flower party now. I mean, Gypsy's whole dress was flowers. There weren't bows all over her.
I appreciate Mia's effort, but it seems like Gypsy wanted a flower shower.
She didn't care.
Exactly.
She was an endorsed, sponsored party.
She did.
Gypsy couldn't even be bothered to send the baby photos. Okay, I'm good.
It's true. She could not be bothered for anything. And the things she could be bothered for apparently were wrong. They were covered in flowers. So, look, more flowers. Gypsy gets ready for the shower. She's with Kristy, and there's some weird stuff about how Ken's brother is attractive, and Ken was worried about that affecting their relationship. And then Gypsy said that she has a sister like that too. And I actually thought that that was kind of a funny commonality, because I guess according to like society standards, Ken's brother is hotter than him, and Gypsy's sister is hotter than her, and they're both step siblings. So I thought that that was kind of a funny way, probably, for them to relate to each other.
Touche.
Anyways.
Gotten a chuckle behind the cell.
Possible, yes. Something they can talk about, all their sadnesses of every time someone meets their sibling and it gets the googly eyes. That must be sad. So Ken's on the way to the shower. He's got his mom in the backseat. I don't know where those other strange men, they probably want to go get some food because breakfast was slim. And then Ken's mom talks to Ken just about what it's like to hold your kid for the first time and how it's such a beautiful fear and all of these things. And I would have skipped this, but he does look really happy. So I kind of thought it was cute.
He's glad he could have provided that for her.
He's glad to provide.
He was like, you're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm glad I could have provided you such a beautiful service.
Yes. I want to know who this guy is, though.
He's someone's cousin that's just there because
a lot of cousins
come
in
to
this
the family event.
There's a lot of cousins in this family.
They said that everybody was on Gypsy's side, but one table. So
Rob must have a big family.
Kristy knows a lot of the whole. It's probably half the bayou in there.
It's probably half the bayou. It seems like Rod has at least one sister because we met one of Gypsy's aunts in this episode. Maybe she has a lot of kids. I don't know. But yeah, there was a lot of people at the shower. They were definitely feeling the love. It was nice to see these two ladies meet each other. They've both been real excited all episode about meeting each other. So here they all are, and everybody's hugging, having a great time. I thought this was pretty cute. And the lawyer's there.
The manager lawyer.
He seems to be there during every one of Gypsy's major moments. So I wonder if he'll be there for the birth.
Oh, more than likely. He's got to
probably outside the hospital, just like that.
Probably got some legal things to take care of out there.
Probably does have some legal things to take care of there. He'll probably definitely be there for the divorce. I don't know why she wouldn't be using him for that. So
that might be part of why he's there.
More of Michael to come. I think that's his name. If not, sorry to that.
Man. More of him this season than her getting out of jail. So
almost saw more of him this season than Ryan.
Possible.
Mr. Anderson, the man of the people,
man of the public, the people's choice.
The people's choice. He should win a People's Choice Award. I bet you he could.
I don't know if that's still a thing anymore, but
I think so. All right.
Possible.
Maybe.
Yeah, they open gifts and do all the cute baby shower stuff. And for some reason, they got a lot of hate about this baby shower online.
They did.
I thought it was strange. Like some of the things they were getting hate about. Like, someone was like, "It said Gypsy's baby shower, which confirms that that Ken and Gypsy are not together." Girl, what?
That's a reach. That's why the first time I watched this, I was like, "What are all your people's problems?" Not that I'm team believe everything that Gypsy tells me, but that just didn't make sense to me. I feel like she's carrying the baby. I feel like it's common to just have a woman. Like sometimes men don't even come to a shower. I know a baby shower is different. The men are usually at the baby shower, but
I used to not really even go to baby showers, honestly.
That's what I mean. Like half the time they're just sort of like bopping around.
I've never been to a baby or bridal shower that wasn't welcome to Emily's baby shower or whatever.
It's honoring a girl, whether that is like the bride to be or the pregnant person or whichever. I mean, yes, they have a family and all of that, but I think same thing. I have recently been to more co-ed baby showers and wedding showers where like it's just men and women and couples and all of that, and I think that that's nice. I wish that we would do that, but I just can't see a lot of men being excited to go to showers. It's not a very exciting thing, to be honest. Like, it's just one of those things you do because you have to, truly. Like, I love all my friends whose showers I've attended, but I've attended their showers because I love them, not because the shower is an exciting thing.
Well, the shower is for them.
Exactly.
It's birthday. So if you truly think about it, the woman goes through all of these things, risks her health to bring this child into the world and can't even give the child her own last name. So what does she get? Her own baby shower.
Her own sign
that says shower. Just never seen a welcome to so-and-so and so-and-so's baby shower before.
I'm sure it's not impossible, but it's not a sign that someone has broken up with somebody, because I've definitely attended showers that just honor the person who's pregnant. So that's why I thought when I first watched, like, people are kind of reaching. This is kind of a lot. The whole assumption that they broke up seems to me like they're real happy. But as I was talking about this, when we're talking about how spliced up the episode is and how it doesn't really seem to follow a constructive, cohesive timeline, it makes me sort of give some more credit to that idea, not because of the stupid sign. That has nothing to do with it, but because it's really obvious that there wasn't a cohesive timeline leading up to the shower and even after the shower. And it was clear that Ken's family thought that he was stressed out. And I think that had more to do with just the rumors online, but maybe the bigger rumors online about Grindr and all of that. I know that was possibly going around. But anyways, there's also rumors going around that they broke up. There's also rumors that Gypsy was in labor, which probably would have supported the Ryan being the dad narrative. So there's a lot that swirls around Gypsy as usual. So this is that time in life. I'm sure that we could probably go back to when her baby shower was, at least when it was posted, and figure out what kind of time that was. But maybe all ChickChatters can let us know. I know you guys like to tell us.
We'll never truly know.
We'll never truly know. That's all we really do know. So we're back to the fishing day, and as Rod says, you can pick the day, but you can't pick the weather. And today, the weather was good.
Yep. Rod needs to see Ken on the water. Where was this motivation to get Ryan out on the water?
I want to know too. Maybe he was worried about sinking.
I would have loved to see Ryan.
He really liked Ryan. I know Ken is sort of on his bad side or whatever, but I don't think he really ever liked Ryan at all.
I think he saw a lot of himself in Ken.
Right, which is better than just thinking someone's a doofus, which I think he just thought Ryan was a doofus.
Because Rod does have all these great things to say sometimes, but then I remember he's gone most of the year. It's like the man's a walking greeting card or something, He has good things, so you good. Anyways, yeah.
So Ken is out here. He thinks that he sees an orca.
In Louisiana, of all places, in the bayou.
They have orcas down there. What was funny to me about this whole thing is most of the purpose of Ken going out with Rod fishing was to learn the culture of the bayou in Louisiana and all of that. And part of that is French culture. And when he asks if this is an orca, and Rod makes a little joke with him for a while, and then he tells him that it's a dolphin. And then he uses the French word for dolphin. Ken's like, yeah, whatever. I don't care about all these French words. That's what we do in Seattle or something. I'm like, you guys are missing each other here. Your whole purpose is to try to learn about each other. And you're just throwing things back and forth about orcas and dolphins. And anytime they get into a real conversation, somebody catches a fish.
They weren't meant to have much of a conversation. The world was like, let's just not. Give them a fish every time.
It's true, but Ken catches a fish, a pretty big one. I was surprised.
Enough to force feed his family with.
No, I think they had to let them all go, but enough to take a picture with. He almost couldn't lift it up. I think he was hurting his hand in there, and as soon as Rod was like, come on, man up, he was like, huh?
I wonder if he snuck his own little cooler.
He might have.
And then tried to force Gypsy to eat it.
Every day until it's gone.
Like we were talking earlier.
I'm going to make her eat it. I do think it's funny what you say about Ken and wanting to force feed people foods, because I don't think they could keep these fish. But when he learned that they couldn't keep these fish, he was almost horrified. He was like, we can't keep them, not throw them back in. So you might be right. I think he did want to force feed this to Gypsy for the rest of her life.
Anyone. The whole family.
Really anyone. You're right. So I think this is the final scene of the episode. They go to the ultrasound. Rod's there, Kristy's there, Ken is there. Gypsy says this is the first time that she's able to have everybody there with her. Everybody thought it was so hilarious that Gypsy had gumbo for breakfast, and then the baby had their hand over their mouth and was wiping the gumbo off their mouth. They thought that was like a baby's already a damn bayou baby. So fresh. So this was funny because what is with these faces?
Those look like two people who made a baby in the bayou.
This is the face of mom and dad. The overarching theme of the ultrasound is obviously Rod being there. And then this is where they talk about what we kind of talked about earlier. Rod not really being there for at least Mia and Gypsy. I think there's a couple of other kids that might be floating around of Rod's as well.
Although most of the episodes set Rod up to be this like all-knowing Rafiki type being.
That's definitely like a present father figure who is supportive and whatever. And I think he is those things now, but everybody knows that he was not those things back in the day. ChickChatters be talking about Rod being a deadbeat dad, and I don't think I could argue about that. But I think he has done some growing in the area of being able to support his kids. But I mean, you can never make up for the time that you weren't there. You just can't. And he talks in this scene as well about how he was not there to help Dee Dee raise Gypsy. And you never know what would have happened if situations were different. But he does question if he was there to help raise Gypsy more, if things would have happened with Dee Dee the way that all went down. Valid question. You never quite know. But he does say he was never in love with Dee Dee. So it doesn't make any sense for them to just stay together. Nobody needs to do that. You should have been around, not at the bar.
He's hell-bent on, as long as you have love, now that's going to work. It's like there's so much more than just love that goes into stuff, but you do need to have love. I mean, that is a foundational brick.
I think from his perspective, he feels like if he was in love with Dee Dee, he would have been there. But I would guess that he was in love with Kristy, and he wasn't there. So I don't really know what your point is, Rod. Apparently, love matters very much to Rod. He's happy to see that he thinks that Gypsy and Ken are in love. I think this was also the episode to show that Rod and Ken have a good relationship, that Gypsy and Ken's mom have a good relationship. Everybody's very supportive. And to think that it's possible that maybe the reason all of this is so diced up is because maybe they were breaking up at this time is really just quite an interesting thought. I mean, even the damn episode is called Baby Shower or Breakup. So I think they might be trolling us.
This whole season's been about just rumors and then random activities.
Clips around those and reactions and baby activities, yes. We did get a still to come. Like I said earlier, it usually means we're a little more than mid-season. And we do have more Ryan coming up in the still to come. It sounds like, yes, we're going to get a divorce. We're going to hear about a possible name change, probably some more paternity drama, I'm sure. But what we did definitely see is that Gypsy has texted Ryan, wanted to meet up with him after the divorce. I know that was a big thing on social media when all of that was happening too, that they were posting a lot of receipts and back and forth. So we'll see. What?
The hacker.
Hacker, yes. The hacker was posting all of those receipts. You're right. So we'll see the spin that Lifetime wants to put on that situation. When Gypsy asks Ken in this preview how he feels about them two talking, he gets up and walks away. I'm sure that Ken reacts more maturely than that, but maybe I am just having too high of hopes for him. We are going to see Divorce Day. We're going to see Gypsy getting trolled over a book signing. We're going to see Gypsy going to the hospital at least once, but maybe more than once. Ken almost damn near kills himself on the way to the hospital. And then Gypsy lets us know that it's go time. And I have a sense that that's probably where the season will end. Because supposedly, allegedly, Gypsy doesn't want her baby on the show and on TV. So I'm guessing they'll probably take it right up to labor and then piece us out.
We'll see about that.
We'll see about that.
I'm so excited to get Ryan back because even with all this rain, this episode, it was so dry.
Dry. You're right. My favorite episode so far has been the Ryan vs. Gypsy episode.
I love getting his little 2 cents sprinkled in every now and then. Just him sitting on that couch, talking to the camera, confessional style.
I know.
Get better.
Also talking to the people.
He is the people's choice. Yep. I think even if he was still with Gypsy, I think I would start seeing some of this as humorous.
Absolutely.
Some things he did I thought was humorous even then.
It is humorous. I agree.
It was a good first season. I like watching them together. Look at your hair.
What did you do to your hair?
That's revenue.
You want some French fries? No, microwave.
Put it in a microwave. What has Ken given us? That's my hairbrush.
Yes, the brush of an ex-girlfriend. Earlier in this episode, actually the very first time, I know that there's been some rumors about Ken's orientation, but I just thought that it was so funny that he thought he was all ready to go fishing because he bought the right shirt. And I feel like that's such a way of a certain type of man's thing.
I mean,
Outfits already.
if I got the right fit, I can do it. Dress for the job you want, not the job you get.
There it is. He wants to be a fisherman just like Rod.
Yeah, he's ready. He's ready to prove himself.
He caught an orca.
I don't think Rod minded Ryan until he saw those texts.
And it's, it's just a reality show. But remember last season, Rod was mad that they got married. He thought Gypsy should have left prison and went home and not got married and rushed the whole thing. But there was a scene where Ryan came over. I think it was before Gypsy was released or maybe the day after. And
he was all sweaty.
Yeah, when he was all sweaty and Rod wanted to talk to him. I don't know. It just seemed like
He
Rod
ran out.
He's kind of disrespecting him.
Didn't he run out?
Yeah, I don't know. That scene, I don't remember exactly how it went. I mean, we talked about it on our recap because it struck me as hilarious. I don't think Rod's a fan of Ryan. I don't think he's really a fan of either of these men, to be real. But I think he does have a preference for Ken at this point.
True, touche.
Not that it really matters, Rod is always on the boat.
Rod is problematic. He's filled with wisdom, but like I was trying to say earlier, he's basically like a little walking greeting card. If you open him, he's got something great to say, but you only see him on occasions.
You're true. That's so true. I'm glad I wasn't taking a drink this time, so thank you for that. All right, Chick Chat. Well, thank you to all of our new subscribers. We're glad that you're here. We're happy to have you joining us. Hopefully you like Sister Wives. Hopefully you like Teen Mom, some Netflix dating shows. Those are some other things that we cover if you want to check those out. Don't forget to like the video if you like it, to comment, leave us some comments and feedback, but don't be mean, and hit the share button and copy the link. So that's your homework. See you next week.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, Rihanna, and goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, you.
Goodbye, you.